want to talk about a little something real quick that's been going on with this administration this go around. So we know in President Trump's first term, they try to, they try to, ruin his administration through the Russia hoax, which we know was a hoax, and other legal challenges, trying to, say he did this, did that, tried to impeach him, that didn't work, all those things during his first administration. So, now that we're in his second administration, now what's going on is that these judges are trying to impede his administration. So they moved from, trying to impeach him, trying to, trying to accuse him of this, that, and the other through the legal system, and none of it worked. And now judges are taking it upon themselves to delay and or impede the president's policies. This is, the left trying to do what they did in the first term, just they're doing it a different way this go around. And they're using judges now. So basically what's happening is the weaponization of the Judicial Branch, because it's obvious that the president can do these things that the judges say he can't do. They're within the powers of the executive branch. So I'm a little confused by these judges saying that the president can't do that. He can't deport. He can't do anything with visas. He can't fire employees. He's the head of the executive branch. He can fire whoever he wants. He through the Secretary of State can revoke or issue visas anytime they want. And they also can deport people. That's within the power of the executive branch. So I'm a little confused why the judicial branch is all in the executive branch's doggone Kool-Aid, for lack of a better term. They are obviously wrong, and the Supreme Court's probably going to overturn most of it. They've already overturned some. And so, I'm not sure why judges are doing this. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. And it's obvious that that these judges, not all of them, but some of them, are continuing the leftist agenda and trying to impede President Trump's administration, as they tried to do in his first term, and it didn't work. This go around, the judges are saying that the president doesn't have the authority to do this, and so he has every authority to do it. All these things that the judges are saying that they cannot do are well within the rights of the executive branch to do. Just like the judges are trying to stop the executive branch and the departments from firing employees or doing a RIF. Well, it's well within their rights to do it. So why would a judge stop the executive branch from doing what Congress has said they can do? It's part of in the Constitution. So I'm a little confused by this whole thing. I'm confused by this. I'm confused. I'm confused that, these judges feel that they have the power to do it, and they really don't. And more likely than not, the Supreme Court's going to overturn all of it. So why even bother? Well, they're doing it to delay and hope that it's denied. But from what I'm seeing, they're just trying to delay and trying to impede the policies of the president because they don't agree with it, even though they know that they're wrong for impeding it from the judicial branch. So it's just another attempt to impede policy and impede government because you don't agree with it. And again, it's the weaponization of the judicial branch. And the administration has every right to be upset because they're like, why are judges doing this? They have no right to do it. They have no right to do it. None. And it's not a surprise that this is happening. But the judicial branch need to mind its business and allow the executive branch to do their job, whether you like the guy or not. So, I guess it's just something that bothers me a little bit, because I'm just trying to figure out why the judicial branch is all into what they're doing. There's no reason for it. You don't have to like it, but the government has every right to deport. They have every right to fire. They have every right to do the things that they're trying to do. My coworker's like, well, yeah, the judge says that, well, that's not going to last, y'all. Y'all get happy all y'all want to. But the simple fact of the matter is the administration has every right to fire employees. Every right. Yeah, federal government employees have protections, but that doesn't mean they can't be fired. That doesn't mean the executive branch doesn't have the power to get rid of them. Especially through a RIF. You ain't got to like it. But that's their purview. So it confuses me that the judges are doing this. It's obvious that they're going after the president, that it's personal. It's extremely obvious because they have no legal merit to do what they're doing. None. They have none. They have no legal merit, and the media's not going to call them out on it because they're in the bag along with them leftist judges and everybody else. So of course they're not going to say nothing. They're not going to look at it from a legal perspective and say, can the judicial branch actually do this? Do they have the power to do this? And I know the Supreme Court's like, dog, we're really busy, but the executive branch has to go through the Supreme Court to tell these idiots, no, you can't do this stuff. And then Congress needs to get involved. He's having a tough time, getting his, what he likes to call his one big beautiful bill. I mean, it got through the House, but the Senate is going to be a tougher thing because they want more cuts, meaning they want to continue what Doge started, and they want more cuts. They want to lessen the deficit. Okay, I get it. I'm not disagreeing with them. So it's kind of confusing, and it just seems like a waste of time. But to them, it's not a waste of time. To them, It's a delaying tactic. You know, it's a delaying tactic. And I think that I think it's I think it's a shame, you know, that these judges are doing it. It's a real shame. And again, more often than not, they're all going to be reversed because again, there's no legal standing. No legal standing whatsoever. It's just a shame that our government has gotten to this point where people, just because they don't like somebody, abuse their powers to try to impede. And that's what's going on. They're trying to impede. And so it's really a disappointment, really. If you really want to think about it, it's really a disappointment that, again, these people, in this case judges, are using their power, and it's illegal. It's really illegal. They're trying to use their power. What they think they're trying to do the right thing when they're not. They're not doing the right thing, because the right thing is to stay out of the executive branch's purview. And so that's what I got to say on that. You know, these judges are being weaponized against the president. It's obvious. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what's going on. It doesn't make any sense. And again, you don't even have to agree with the president's policies to know that these judges are wrong. You know, it's just basic, it's a division, it's a division of powers. It's every branch has its role. Every branch has its role. And the judicial branch, not all of it, but some of it, wants to overstep their authority and try to do something they feel is right, but it ain't right because it's not in your authority to do it in the first place. Of government just ain't doing what they're supposed to do right now. It's all kind of messed up right now. So yeah, I'm a little confused by by what these judges are doing. Most of them are district judges and not appellate or higher. Most of these are district judges that are trying to, impede. That's all they're trying to do. And in the end, the Supreme Court's basically going to reverse every last one. Because there's no legal precedence for it. There's no legal precedence for it. You're telling the head of the departments, Department of Defense, State, Education, Treasury, etc., that they can't hire and fire their own employees? Of course they can. Of course they can. And it just doesn't make any sense. Just doesn't make any sense. Anyways, down below. But we're definitely seeing the weaponization of the judicial branch by various judges. Most of them, I think, are district judges, district court judges, that are trying to, they're trying to use their power to affect how the government is run, and they're way overstepping their bounds. They're abusing their power, is what they're doing. So, but anyways, I just thought I'd come on here and say that. This will be a short video. If you got any comments, leave them down below. Like I say, you don't have to like the president to know that this is wrong. And that the motives behind these decisions aren't are personal motives because they don't like the president. That's just the way I'm looking at it. It's got to be that way. It can't be any other way. It can't be any other thing than these judges have a vendetta against the president. So, in the end, the executive branch is going to get done what it needs to get done. There are many ways to do things in government. And the executive branch is doing really good by abiding by these court rulings. They're doing really good. They're doing really good. So, we'll see how it all goes, but I think that the Supreme Court, or whoever's below the Supreme Court, the appellate court or whatever, are going to reverse all this stuff, because in the end it doesn't